The following opinions are solely those of BoatTEST.com and its test captain.
Hi, I'm Eric Colby for BoatTEST.com. Today we're going to be conducting a test on the Evinrude E-TEC G2 250HO outboard.
We previously tested the E-TEC G2 250HO on a pontoon boat and were impressed. But when it comes to a performance outboard and the speed it can produce, it's hard to beat a bass boat. So we tested an E-TEC G2 250HO on a Ranger Z520C bass boat. The Evinrude E-TEC G2 250HO produces at least 250 horsepower from a 74-degree V6 block that displaces 210 cubic inches or 3.4 liters and weighs 545 pounds. The motor can spin up to 6,000 RPM and has a gear reduction of 1.85 to 1. With any bass boat, the first thing people ask is how fast is it? Here's the answer. Turning a 14.5 by 26 Raker HO 3-blade stainless steel propeller, we hit a top speed of 71.7 miles per hour at 5,700 RPM, burning 22.1 gallons per hour, giving us a range of 131 miles at wide open. Best cruise came at 3,000 RPM, where we ran 32.5 miles per hour and burned 6.5 gallons per hour, giving the boat a range of 203 statute miles. We felt the torque of the direct injected outboard in acceleration test. Our test boat planed in 3.8 seconds and ran out to 20 miles per hour in 5.3 seconds and to 30 miles an hour in 7.1 seconds. Remember that this boat is propped for top speed. Drop down the size and pitch, and it'll be on plane in a blink. Like all Evinrude E-TEC G2 engines, this one let us experience iTrim, an automatic trim system. Under acceleration, the system trims the motor depending on engine speed, ensuring optimal performance even for novice drivers. The iTrim system is complemented with Evinrude's Icon touchscreen display that is easy to use. Offered in 3 different sizes, the display lets users program unique features of the Evinrude engine like iTrim and dynamic power steering, along with traditional display functionality. While most bass boat owners spend very little time in salt water, it's still worth noting that the motor can trim all the way out of the water to an angle of 81 degrees. This gets the skeg totally out of the water, which is advantageous in salt water. Speaking of the skeg, it has an aggressive swept design to improve hydrodynamics. Also note the SLX gear case's large diameter torpedo that houses more robust gears and bearings that will stand up to punishment over time. The hydraulic rotary steering actuator is electronically buffered to provide progressive feedback at different engine speeds. This feature makes the boat easier to pilot. Owners who have ever rigged their own boat and mechanics will appreciate the fact that the E-TEC G2 250HO is designed so that the motor turns, but the rigging tube containing hoses and cables remains stationary. This eliminates the pulling on the cables and hoses that occurs with other outboards. Now let's take a look at some of the service features on the Evinrude E-TEC G2 250HO. The starboard side panel removes to reveal the 2-gallon engine lube oil reservoir, and just aft is the gear case oil tank's visual inspection tube. This is helpful to inspect the quality of lower unit oil because Evinrude recommends only changing it every 5 years or 500 hours. There is easy access to the spin-off fuel water separator. Here we can see the individual coils for each spark plug. Beneath this fuel rail, the fuel injectors pulse up to 100 times per second, injecting fuel directly into each cylinder. Up top is the magneto-style charging system that produces 133 amps and dedicates 50 of them to run the engine's electrical components. Positioned just ahead of the primary drive shaft, the digital module smoothly shifts the engine in and out of gear. Beneath the module, the shifting takes place inside this sealed section of the lower unit, which provides improved protection from water entry. To prevent corrosion, the engine block is finished with a titanium oxide coating that was applied to critical internal surfaces. The outside of the motor, the midsection, and lower unit are finished with electro-deposition paint for a durable finish. These details allow Evinrude to offer a 5-year corrosion warranty. To personalize the motor, the E-TEC G2 250HO comes in 5 standard color panels with 14 accent options, creating more than 400 color combinations. The Evinrude E-TEC G2 250HO is a high-tech engine designed for a variety of fresh and saltwater applications, and she has the performance to make any boat a thrill to drive.
And that wraps up our test of the Evinrude E-TEC G2 250HO outboard. For BoatTEST.com, I'm Eric Colby.